This video is a follow-on from videos 1 to 4 of this series, so if you haven't already watched the first 4 videos in their correct order, I strongly recommend you do, before watching this video. In my last video of this series, I revealed the difference between the Son of Man, which is the core processor of the soul, and Jesus, so this video is about who Jesus really is, and not what the Roman Church profess. Jesus was much more than most religious people can imagine, and as I pointed out, he was the Word made flesh. The Word being the first word, the Word God, was with, in the beginning. Jesus was in fact an avatar of the Son of Man, used to communicate between the life of God and those watching the Book of Adam. The life of God is the light of man, or life, the real self. The avatar, Jesus, was much different than any other human avatar. To understand, we need to first understand how evil came into the Earth program. This involved the genome of the species. Before showing this, here is an abstract animation displaying a system involving logic, which polices any processes taking place in the processing system of life. The triangle represents the simplest form of logic. The colors represent the source of the data. When checking the reliability involving the transfer of data, the system looks at both the image and its opposite image. If they are the same, then the data is correct. If different, it indicates a problem, so the data is rejected. This acts a bit like a checksum in human-made computers. A new species was introduced in paradise, called the Adam species, whose wife was Eve, according to the parable titled the first book of Moses, called Genesis. Eve was said to have come out of Adam's body, having been made from one of his ribs. This is to say, Eve was a clone of Adam, but female, instead of male. So, both Adam's and Eve's genome were of the same source. This animation shows the triangles, representing the haploid cells, from both Adam and Eve, forming the diploid cells, producing the intended offspring, its logic image, and its opposite image, both being the same when compared. But when a rogue alien, by the name of Azazel, fornicated, in the form of adultery with Eve, she gave birth to Cain. Azazel was Cain's father. This next abstract animation involving the haploid cells of Azazel and Eve, as coming from different origins, caused the diploid cells to produce double logic in Cain. This is known as the 666 algorithm, which is present in all humans. According to the books of Enoch, the other 199 aliens, involving 20 different alien species, along with Azazel, corrupted all the different species on Earth, which now also contain double logic in their genome. This is why all species, including humans, suffer and die. But in the case of Jesus, according to scriptures, in the Gospel according to Matthew, Mary was the sole physical parent. This abstract logic animation shows what took place regarding the haploid cells in Mary, and the forming of the diploid cells producing Jesus. Notice how both the image logic and the opposite image logic are identical, involving the diploid cells that make up Jesus. This was achieved through editing the books, accessed through the 5-pointed star, also known as the Epiphany star. The 5-pointed star is one of the angels used in the processing system of life. So Jesus had single logic in his genome, instead of double logic, as humans have. What is not taught in the Roman Church, nor their breakaway denominations, that the one speaking through Jesus was the first word, the Word God was with, in the beginning, which their religious scribes removed from scriptures, even though Jesus said, quote, "He who has seen me, hath seen the Father." From the Gospel according to John, chapter 14, in verse 9, quote, "He that hath seen me, hath seen the Father," end quote. And in verse 10, quote, "The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father, that dwelleth in me, he doth the works."